Good.
And I'll be for Clark.
We're ready.
Okay, great. All right, I'd like to call the meeting to order of the regular Brisbane City Council meeting of December 14th, 2017. Please rise and join me for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please.
Please note for the record that all council members are present.
Thank you. Adoption of agenda.
Move adoption.
I'd like to make a change to the agenda and remove the workshop afterwards, if that's part of the agenda, to on the
You mean mayor council?
Item B.
item B for the not the goal setting workshop, for the
It's item E.
Item
E.
E.
Yes,
And Edward.
I would like to remove item E and schedule that for another time.
I
Okay.
agree. I think that could be a lengthy
right.
discussion.
Okay.
A motion
And then
as amended.
I would also like to close the meeting in honor of Mayor Edley of San Francisco.
Okay.
Yeah, and then also, if we could also close in memory of Eric Reed, council member from the city of Belmont, who passed away a couple days ago.
Absolutely.
And with that, I'd make a motion to approve the agenda.
Second.
Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, we have an agenda. Oral communications, number 1. Is there anyone in the audience who'd like to speak on an item not on the agenda this evening? Seeing no hands, we'll move on to the consent calendar. We have items A through F. Is there a motion?
I wonder if on the item F, the Open Space and Ecology Committee report of accomplishments, if there's any members of the Open Space and Ecology Committee that would like to comment on that, or not? Nope. Okay, then I
Well, I
would
think
make,
it's probably good to at least acknowledge their hard work over the last year, and it's quite a list. So
Yeah.
for those of you who are here or who are watching from the Open Space and Ecology Committee, we sincerely thank you for the hard work.
I
Thank
echo
you.
that. Okay.
So I would make a motion to approve the consent calendar.
Is there a
Second.
second?
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, we have a consent calendar approved. Okay. Item A under new business, recognize outgoing mayor, myself, for my service. So I'll let someone else handle it.
Well, I think this is where I take over temporarily.
Sure, that's fine with me.
Yeah. So, Lori, I want to read a few things. So
Okay.
we've got quite a few things here. We got a lot accomplished the last year that Lori was mayor. And so we have a couple of proclamations here. And when we get through this, Ray, we're going to give your wife back to you. And kids, you can have your mommy back now. I'm sure you guys are happy about that. So, okay, this is a proclamation of the City Council of the City of Brisbane recognizing Mayor Lori S. Liu for her service to the City of Brisbane 2017. Whereas Lori Liu served as mayor of the City of Brisbane from December 8, 2016 to today. Whereas during her year as mayor, she presided over many council meetings, special meetings, and public hearings to discuss the Brisbane Baylands and public events in which she carefully listened to each citizen's concerns and observation. And whereas the city government transparency, accountability, and responsiveness was also of the utmost importance to her. She coordinated lattes with Lori to have regular meetings with members of the public. She co-hosted City Hall tours for Brisbane's young citizens. She spent many hours working with city staff at weekly meetings and subcommittee meetings with her colleagues to solve issues and explore new projects and programs for council consideration. And whereas, during her year as mayor, the council adopted the first ever precise plan for Parkside at Brisbane Village, which includes approximately 230 units of housing. The goal of the Parkside plan being to ensure that the community defines its vision and establishes its implementing regulations and standards before new residential development is proposed. And whereas environmental sustainability was special passion for her, the city was recognized during her tenure as mayor for its environmental leadership and best practices, receiving the Platinum Level Spotlight Award for the Institute of Local Government, which highlighted Brisbane's stellar efforts in energy savings, natural gas savings, and greenhouse gas reductions. Also, with her leadership and through Peninsula Clean Energy, the city has opted up to its municipal accounts of ECO 100, the 100% renewable energy option for all municipal electric accounts. And whereas President Trump announced the United States withdrawal from the Paris Climate Agreement of 2015, she wrote a letter expressing the city's commitment to curbing global warming and to working together to support, lead, and uphold the commitments to the goals and measures of the city's climate action plan. And whereas while she served on the city council liaison committees to the Park and Recreation Commission, the city held two new innovative and successful community events: the Star City Musical Festival and the Brisbane Marina Kite Festival. She presided over the Veterans Day flag raising event and Brisbane's 31st annual City of Lights Festival, and worked on the new Brisbane Library project, which will include the first public arts project triggered by the Brisbane Public Arts Ordinance. Now, therefore, it be resolved that after a year of dedicated service as mayor to the city of Brisbane and giving so generously of her time to represent the city in so many ways, we thank her for her dedication in making the city of Brisbane a better place to live and thrive. Thank you, Lori. So, this is the proclamation I just read. So bear with me, I'm not done reading because we got another proclamation for Lori. And this is a proclamation of the City Council again. Whereas Lori Lou moved to Brisbane in 2004 with her husband and, well, two young children came along the way and fell in love with Brisbane's sense of community. And whereas before she was popularly elected as a member of the Brisbane City Council for a 4-year term in 2013, she served on the city's Open Space and Ecology Committee, the Brisbane Baylands Community Advisory Group, other words BBCAG, and the Citizens Committee reviewing the Baylands Draft Environmental Impact Report. She also served on the Board of Directors of the Landmark at the Ridge Homeowners Association, the Board of Directors of the Chamber of Commerce, Brisbane Chamber of Commerce, and the Mothers of Brisbane, and was an avid supporter of the Summer Concert Series and Live at Mission Blue. And whereas as a council member, she was a champion of education, children, the arts, recreation, economic development, and the environmental sustainability. She actively served on the following county and city subcommittee boards and associations from 2013 to 2017. Okay, we got quite a list here. Okay, so Association of Bay Area Governments, Peninsula Clean Energy Board of Directors is the City of Brisbane's representative. City and County Association of Governments, County Library, JPA liaison with Friends of the Brisbane Library, Brisbane Archives and History. The Economic Development Subcommittee, Health and Safety Subcommittee, the League of California Cities, liaison to Parks and Recreation Commission, liaison to Chamber of Commerce Business Relations, Library Stakeholders Group, Council Representative, Public Information Technology Subcommittee, School City Subcommittee 2x2, Airport Community Roundtable Alternate, liaison to the Planning Commission, Planning Issues Subcommittee, Emergency Issues Subcommittee, Arts Subcommittee, liaison to Open Space and Ecology Subcommittee, and Community Choice Energy Advisory Committee of San Mateo County. After that,
You guys are going to have a couple new positions.
I don't normally talk this much, so. Whereas after over many years of dedicated service to the citizens of Brisbane, young and old, she is, for the meantime, leaving public service to pursue her career as an attorney and enjoy precious times with her husband Ray and daughter Samantha and son Noah, and also your parents. Mm-hmm. Now, therefore, be it resolved, we thank Lori Lou for her extraordinary dedication in making the city of Brisbane, certainly making it a better place to live and work. Thank you, Lori.
Thank you, Clark. You had to type really small on that.
So, now we have one more thing to give to Lori. A gavel showing that she was mayor, and it is screwed on there. So in case you want to take the screws off and practice, in case you're going to run again at some point in time. But here you go, Lori.
Thank you, Clark.
So now we get to turn it back over to the mayor.
Great.
I
Wow.
don't know. I mean, don't we get an opportunity to say something nice about Laura?
Sure.
Okay.
You know, I have to say, Lori, that I mean, I knew I would be talking about, you know, your term as the mayor,
Yeah.
but I never thought that I'd be sitting here at this time talking about you leaving us on the council. You know, Clark talked about all those things that you were a part of, you know, before you got on the council, and you know, and that's why you, which I believe is true, is that you have garnered the most votes of any council member ever running for Brisbane City Council, and the only council member ever to beat that guy in an election. Clark's always won, always been the top vote getter, except for that 1 year.
And it was also her first year running.
Absolutely.
Amazing.
She beat all the incumbents. But you know, Lori, you know, your term on the council, you know, has just been so admirable. You're someone who is extremely brave. You never, you know, put your finger in the air and, you know, made decisions based upon which way the wind was blowing. You always did your homework. You always, you know, reached out to the community to you know, to really understand what was going on, and then you made your decisions. And sometimes you made some pretty tough decisions, but you always stood by your principles and what you believed what was right. And you know, if we had more elected officials who took your lead, this country and this world would be a much better place. You know, another thing that I really admired about you was just your ability to go out into the public and empower others, because that's really what democracy is all about. And you know, your kids, you got to be with your kids, you know, and they're young, and you know, Sam and Noah, you know, they're going to enjoy having you spend more time with them, but they're also going to look back on this time that you're on the council and say, boy, you know, Mommy, she was such a role model, you know, for us and also for this wonderful community that we have. So, Lori, congratulations, and I know for sure that we'll be seeing you engaged in the things that we do as a council in the coming weeks and months. So, again, congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Terry?
Well, it's really hard to talk about all the committees and all the work that Lori's done over the years. She's really put her heart and soul into working for Brisbane and for the betterment of Brisbane, and I really appreciate that. We've put it into the proclamation, but no one knows how much it takes from you to be able to do those things, and how much dedication and how much sacrifice you make. Mm-hmm. And so no one should ever think that it's not a sacrifice to do the work you've done, and you've done it tremendously. So thank you.
Thank you, Terry.
Addison?
And Terry was one of the first people I met in Brisbane. We used to live 2 doors down from each other.
Yep.
Oh my gosh, I don't want to get emotional. I'm going to try hard. Lori, you're going to be incredibly missed, and I don't think there's a way that I can express that with words, but I definitely feel like we will feel the loss of you, even though we are gaining such a great council member. You bring so much to our council, and you are definitely have been an asset to us for such a long time. I'm happy to have had a friendship with you before city council, and it's been a really interesting experience to watch that friendship grow, and especially in those times that we've disagreed, and we've disagreed on pretty big issues. But one thing that I love about you is that at the end of the day, there's always that friendship there. And there's always that ability to put those disagreements aside and say, you know what, I still cherish your friendship and we'll always be good. And that is something that I love about you, because especially in this position, we can get so passionate about these issues that sometimes that can drive a wedge. And so I'm really happy that in our relationship that you always keep the friendship first. And I love that about you. Another thing that you bring to the table, which we've all benefited from, is just your calmness. You know, I could get really riled up. So can Cliff. So can Clark. And so it's really great to have that calmness, especially as the mayor. We've had some disputes on the council that have gotten emotional at times, and I think that you just really balance us out and calm us down, and just get us level again. And that's something that I'll definitely miss. Another thing that I really appreciate about you is just I feel like you're the overachiever of the group. You know, I think Cliff said it well, where, I mean, you went to every house with a registered voter, and that was just, that was before you were on the council. Once you were on the council, I think you may have the most subcommittees. You're always the person to step up to the plate. And not just that, you always will go to events and you'll represent the city of Brisbane, even if it's not for a subcommittee. You're always there having our back and making sure that we have a representative to speak for us and also gather the information so that we are in the loop and we know what's going on in the greater community. I've really enjoyed working with you as a liaison to almost every commission and committee. One thing that I really loved working with you on was the public arts ordinance. I kind of came in towards the end of that, but we got to work together on selecting the art piece for the library, which was such a fun experience. I remember us walking out of that meeting being so elated about what we had chosen, and that's definitely something every time I look at that piece that will be hanging in the library, I'll think of that experience with you, and that will be something that will be lasting, for years to come. Another thing I really appreciate about you is how detail-oriented you are. I know if there's a typo buried somewhere in the minutes, you are going to find it. And I feel like oftentimes I rely on I know that you're going to catch a mistake. I know that you will have our back. And sometimes I can maybe glaze over something, but I know you will always read every single word. You will always catch something. And we are so much better for it to have you doing that. I look forward to your future endeavors. I know that you're going to be a powerhouse, and I can't wait to see what you accomplish. And I wouldn't be surprised if you were sitting back up here with us one day. So I thank you so much for your service, and you will be missed.
Oh, thank you, Nessa.
Well, Madam Mayor, before we give you your rebuttal, if I could just take a little bit more. We have a couple of people here from Congresswoman Jackie Spears' office, and it's Sarah Alpetkin, and she wants to give a proclamation to you from the congressional record.
Hi, Madam Mayor, council members. I'm here on behalf of Congresswoman Jackie Spear, who couldn't make it, but a year ago did swear you in. So, she read extended remarks and entered you into the congressional record, which, as I'm sure you know, is the official history of the United States Congress. And I know there's a lot of praise for you tonight, so I won't take up too much time, but I wanted to read a few parts of it. So, imagine this in the Congressman's voice for the effect. Mr. Speaker, I rise to honor Lori Liu, who is leaving public service after 4 years on the Brisbane City Council, the last year as mayor of this storied town near San Francisco Bay. Lori's deep commitment to public service is evident from her accomplishments and contributions to her community. She's a champion of education, children, the arts, recreation, economic development, and the environment. Lori has a long track record of working on environmental issues. In fact, when she moved to Brisbane in 2004, her very first volunteer activity was to attend an Earth Day cleanup event. While on the council, she helped to secure a grant to renovate Crocker Park Trail. This funding will make the trail more usable for bicyclists, joggers, and parents with strollers. It will also establish a safe pedestrian and bike-friendly connection between residential development at the Ridge and Lippman Middle School. Due in part to Lori's outstanding work, Brisbane received the Platinum Level Spotlight Award from the Institute for Local Government for Environmental Leadership and Best Practices. With her support, the city signed up to have all municipal electric accounts serviced by 100% renewable energy. Mr. Speaker, I ask the House of Representatives to rise with me to honor Lori Liu for her exemplary service on the Brisbane City Council. Her public service made Brisbane a better place to live, work, and visit. I personally regret that she is leaving office and hope she will return to offer Brisbane her skills and talents in addressing the issues facing her beloved city. I have no doubt that Lori will continue to make enormous contributions to any effort she undertakes. Thank you very much, and this is yours.
Oh, thank you.
That was very nice.
Thank you.
Okay, also with us this evening, we're going to have a joint statement from Senator Jerry Hill's office and Assembly Member Kevin Mullins' office. And with us tonight we have Jeffrey Liu from Senator Hill's and Kevin Fong from Assembly Member Mullins' office. So who gets to talk? Did you guys flip a coin or what?
We're going to take turns.
Okay.
That's how we roll around here. Madam Mayor, members of council, thank you so much for having us here this evening. I am Kevin Fong, and I am representing Assembly Member Kevin Mullen.
I'm Jeffrey Lewin from State Senator Jerry Hill's office.
It's a pleasure being here with you all this evening as we honor and recognize Lori Liu for her years of dedicated service to the city of Brisbane. Lori, during your time on council, especially this past year as mayor, you've really helped guide the city through some very challenging times. And now as you prepare to leave council, you leave the city in a better place than when you first started. And I think as an elected official and as a public servant, I think that's all you can really ask for.
And so we wanted to present you with this resolution from the California State Legislature. It's signed by both Assemblymember Kevin Mullen and Senator Jerry Hill. We're not going to read it because Clark and the rest of your council members and Congresswoman Spear's words kind of covered it all. So I think we're just going to leave it at that. We don't want to make you come down from the dais, so we'll bring it to you.
Thank you so much.
Now for your rebuttal.
Wow. I'm truly humbled by all these really, really kind and thoughtful words. I can't believe it's been 4 years. It's just flown by. I mean, you can see my kids were 1.5 and 4 when I started, and they've just grown into little kids now, soon to be big kids. So it's just been an amazing experience, and I'm so grateful to have had the opportunity to serve with all of you and for what, the chance you've given me to serve the community. So as you all know, tonight is my last night as a current member of the Brisbane City Council. It has been an honor to represent my neighbors and my fellow Brisbane residents as their representative on the council. As a mother of young children, I take pride in knowing that I served as a role model to other women, to mothers, and most importantly, to all our children, in showing them that when you put your heart and mind to it, anything is possible. And each of us has the ability to find our own voice. While my decision to not run for re-election allows me to spend more time focusing on my family, I love this city and remain committed to helping the council as it sets a course for our future. The greatest challenge I see is how we manage development of the Baylands. Brisbane has a history of self-reliance and environmentalism. The city was incorporated in part to preserve habitat on San Bruno Mountain, which we all treasure. The city has also been a responsible and reliable partner to cities in the region. As I see it, there are competing forces that we must face as we consider development of the Baylands. There's the undeniable need for regional housing. And from a distance, the Baylands seems to be an obvious place to build the new housing. But when you look closer, there are very real environmental impacts to be considered on the Baylands. Before any housing can be built, we owe it to future residents to make sure that any future development is safe. Ensuring safety before building is the responsibility of this council. Yet we continue to face pressure from Sacramento to build housing on the Baylands, and we are hearing that state legislation might be used to make this decision for us. It's vital that Brisbane always has a seat at the table in determining our own future, both so that any development on the Baylands, particularly any residential development, is both safe and sustainable. While tonight is my last night as mayor, I am still a resident, and I intend to remain engaged about the future of the Baylands. I commit to being a strong voice for the council I commit to being a strong voice for council control over land use decisions. I commit to being open to new ideas like developing housing on a part of the Baylands, but only if any development is both safe and responsible. And I commit to thinking about our children first, so that any decisions made today are not haunting them tomorrow. While some may think that my commitments are only to Brisbane, let me remind everyone that Brisbane has been and will always continue to be a responsible regional partner. What seems to be lost in Sacramento and in the media is that partnership works both ways. If we work in true partnership, the Baylands can be transformed from a contaminated site into a development that is a model of environmental sustainability. But in order to do that, Brisbane must be able to oversee the land use decisions to ensure that areas that require a higher level of cleanup get cleaned up, and to ensure that Brisbane's community benefits. Brisbane must have a seat at the table to make sure that the Baylands project is a win-win for all those involved. I am confident about the future of Brisbane because I am confident that the people of this city are good-hearted and forward-thinking, as is the leadership of this incoming council. I am proud to have been a part of the city's leadership and want to thank each of you for giving me the chance and the opportunity to serve. I would like to thank my colleagues on the City Council for giving me the chance to serve as mayor during this very important year. And I would like to thank the Brisbane residents for putting your faith in me and continually challenging me to represent the community to the best of my abilities. And I would like to give special thanks to my husband, Ray, to my children, Samantha and Noah, and to my parents, Marilyn and David Schnitzer, and my extended family for encouraging me and supporting me over the years. Thank you, Brisbane, and I look forward to seeing the incoming council continue to lead our wonderful community. And I congratulate incoming council member Karen Cunningham, and I know you will do well and continue to be a strong voice for the community. So thank you, everyone. Great, thank you. I'm going to have to find some more wall space now in my home. Okay. So next we move on to item C. Consider adoption of resolution number 2017-59, adopting the County of San Mateo certification of votes and declaring the results of Measure D at the municipal election held on November 7th, 2017.
Motion to adopt resolution number 2017-59.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, motion passes. Item D, consider adoption of resolution number 2017-60, adopting the County of San Mateo certification of votes and declaring results of Measure E at the municipal election held on November 7th, 2017.
Motion to adopt resolution number 2017-60.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Item E, consider adoption of resolution number 2017-61, adopting the County of San Mateo's certification of votes and declaring results to fill 3-year term council seats at the general municipal election held on November 7th, 2017.
Motion to adopt resolution number 2017-61.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. And next, we have administration of oath of office of the newly elected council member. So, or newly elected council members. So all of you, are you getting sworn in at the same time? Okay. By our clerk. So Karen, go ahead.
So for those of you who don't know, I would like to present W. Clark Conway, Karen Cunningham, and Cliff Lenz. They were elected to serve on the City Council through December of 2020. Now I'm going to administer the oath or affirmation of allegiance for public officers and employees. Please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your name. Do solemnly affirm that I will support and defend
Do solemnly affirm to support and defend
the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of California
the Constitution of the United States and the State of California
against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
that I will bear true faith and allegiance
that I will bear true faith and allegiance
to the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of California,
to the Constitution of the Constitution of the State of California,
that I take this obligation freely
that I take this obligation freely
without any mental reservation
without any mental reservation
or purpose of evasion,
or purpose of evasion,
and that I will well and faithfully discharge
and that I will well and faithfully discharge
the duties upon
the duties upon
which I am about to enter.
which I am about to enter.
Okay.
Okay. So then at this point, I think we do the seat change. Come on up. Congratulations, Aaron.
I mean,
Yeah, we can. Okay.
Well, we're going to change them officially after the break. Right now, it's just,
It's just a little switch.
but then you stay here because you're still the last mayor.
Want me to sit in the middle? Okay.
See you, Samantha.
Okay. Meeting adjourned. Oh, just kidding. Just run. Run! Okay. Okay. Alrighty. At this point, we are mayorless, so we have to elect a new mayor and a new mayor pro tem. So, council,
Yes, I'd like to make a motion to appoint Clark Conway as our new mayor.
Second.
we have a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And
Mayor pro tem.
I'd like to make a motion to appoint Madison Davis as our new mayor pro tem.
I'll second that.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, so have new mayor, mayor pro tem. We have to take oath of office again. You want to go on your own or no?
No, you have to go too.
No mental reservations.
Oh, thank goodness I won't be there.
Please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your name. Do solemnly affirm that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of California
Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of California
against all enemies, foreign and domestic.
against all enemies, foreign and domestic.
That I will bear true faith and allegiance
That I will bear true faith and allegiance
to the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of California.
to the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of California.
That I take this obligation freely
That I take this obligation freely
without any mental reservation
without any mental reservation
or purpose of evasion.
or evasion.
And that I will well and faithfully discharge
I will well and faithfully discharge
the duties upon which I'm about to enter.
the duties upon which I'm about to enter.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Okay. Before I turn it over to Cliff and Karen for some comments, I want to make some comments myself first and some observations. But before I do that, I would like to acknowledge my family here tonight. So my wife Liz is in the back. You raise your hand, hon. And my two grandchildren that we are raising, two youngest grandchildren, Lafi and Kalani. Boss 1 and Boss 2. So also with me tonight is my daughter Salau visiting from Atlanta, Georgia. You can raise your hand, Salau. Son Roman in the back there holding Boss Baby. That's
All right.
my great nephew, Kaupaki. Hi, Kaupaki. Okay, okay, and also my daughter, Davina, and her husband, Marshall. My brother-in-law, Roman, is from Samoa. My grandson, Tori ended up a sophomore at high school in Terra Nova, and my nephew Verna. That's Kaupaki's dad, and my niece Fatu. That's Kaupaki's mom. So, anyway, I also wanted to thank you, hon, for your unwavering support. You know, it was tough for me to actually run for city council again this time. I was adamant about it. I told Clay in January. I told Terry in February, I think, and I told Madison that, guess what? I'm out of here, and you're going to be up next. And sent her into about 6 months of panic attacks until I decided to run. And that was from a lot of citizens. But before, when I wasn't going to run, I asked my wife, I said, I'm not running. And she goes, whatever you want to do, hon, I'll support you 100%. And then months later, I said, well, I got to run. She goes, whatever you want to do, hon, I support you 100%. And you can't ask for more than that. And it just, that was special. So I have some comments that I want to make, and Lori, this is summons to you, and because I want to thank you for the wonderful work that you did the last year as mayor and the last 4 years as a council member. Thank you, Samantha. I appreciate Ray, you and the kids, giving her up during that time, to the citizens of Brisbane and to serve us. It's been a pleasure working with you while you will be missed. I said, I look forward to seeing you around, and I know that we're going to stay in touch. But like Lori, I see the development of the Baylands as the most important challenge that we face, and this is our city faces. As Lori mentioned, the council is hearing rumblings from Sacramento wanting to help us determining our future of the Baylands. So let me translate what help means. It means either we approve housing on the Baylands, the city or the state legislature will approve it. So, in face of this threat from Sacramento, it's imperative the city retain local control over land use decisions, even if we have to have some form of compromise, because I don't like what the alternatives are facing us. Brisbane has a proud history of locally considered responsible development that preserves open space, protects environmentally sensitive land like San Bruno Mountain and Icehouse Hill, and balances commercial and residential development. I've been a champion for a responsible development model for over the 20 years that I've spent on the city council. I've watched in amazement in the past 30 years our neighboring cities did not look out for the balance, but instead they pursued jobs without building housing. So in a sense, there was a lot of irresponsible building going on in our surrounding communities. These job-first developments are costing our younger generation dearly. The Bay Area is the only place in America where kids just out of college can make $100,000 a year and not be able to afford rent. I am proud that Brisbane never followed the jobs-only development trend in the region, and I don't think we should do that with the development of the Baylands. To be clear, I've never been or will not be a proponent of any development on the Baylands, commercial, residential, or mixed uses, unless there is a comprehensive environmental cleanup first. I want to work with our regional partners and with our state legislature, but as partners, not as subjects. My wife and I are raising our granddaughters here, as I said earlier, and I want to leave them with a safe, clean community of which they can be proud. So I commit to protecting your interests as mayor for the sake of not only my granddaughters, but for your children and your grandchildren and future generations of Brisbane. So this next year is going to be challenging for our council, and sometimes you just got to meet things head on, and that's what I intend to do as a mayor with the support of the council. So thank you very much. And with that, I'm going to let beauty before age go, or no, sorry, Cliff.
Let beauty go.
Yeah. Flip a coin. Okay, no, go ahead, Cliff. You okay. Yeah.
Good evening, everyone. First of all, I just want to acknowledge my mom's in the house, and she's right there. I grew up in South City. My parents moved there in I think, 66. Still living in the same house that I grew up in with my brother. I want to thank Brisbane, for putting your faith in me and supporting me for another term as a public servant on the Brisbane City Council. Especially as the mayor has just said, during the most important time in our history. During the campaign, I put together a little list of 870 doors that I was going to knock on. And through the help of my good buddy Roberto Mendez, we did a second round of canvassing, and I wound up knocking on about 900 doors. And granted, not everyone's home, and the folks that are home, not everyone wants to have a conversation, but most people did. And it was such an honor to be able to have these just very open and frank discussions. And many people opened up their door, and I went inside, sat down on the sofa or at the kitchen table, and just talked about the issues. And of course, the main thing that people wanted to talk about was the Baylands. And it was people understood what was going down. I mean, there's no secret about all the pressure that's being put on our town. During the election, I mean, there's a news article, it seemed like almost every week, about some kind of deal or whatever that the folks up in Sacramento were trying to put together. But people understood, we have to come together. And every night or day that I finished canvassing, I felt proud. I felt proud of our community, because the community understood that the most important thing for our quality of life, the way that we have lived our lives, is maintaining local control out in the Baylands. There's been some folks, the Krebel group, has just been so passionate about having an energy positive development. And, that's something that we should continue to strive for. People talked about transportation and the concern of just having a parking lot out in the Baylands. And, we need to come together and make sure that we put forth a very efficient and robust public transportation system. When you look at the survey that the city put out, the number one thing that people wanted, and it didn't matter if you're rich or poor, lived on the ridge, lived in central Brisbane, male, female, was open space. And you think of our town. I mean, that is such a it's our role model. It's who we identify with, with San Bruno Mountain and our connection with nature. And open space is going to be one of our major contributions to the Baylands development, and we need to implement an open space plan that covers the whole entire site, not just as a barrier to development in the north. And then you think of education. People need to be aware that the Baylands is in the Bayshore District and not in the Brisbane Elementary School District. So when development happens out there, not a single dime is going to go to educate our children from K through 8. And we need to partner together with all the school districts and come up with something that's fair. When you look at sustainability, there isn't a single town, seriously, there's not a single town in this region that lives and breathes sustainability more than the city of Brisbane. Right? We have that great connection with nature. We really take care of our own. You look at the Lions Club and the Eagles Club and just all the other things that we do together. I mean, it's awesome. I just look in this room and I know people from every single street, whether it's in central Brisbane or up on the ridge, and we just do that. That's so unique. And then you just think about how we manage our our city's finances and how our economy is just so dialed in, right? That's what sustainability is about. And so there is not a better steward to apply sustainable models for the Baylands than us as our city. And so, one of the things that I did before the election was have office hours, and I want to start that back up again. I want to engage you and understand what are your goals for this site. And so I've worked out with staff that I'd like to have office hours starting on January 10th at 5:30. And so, the city will put out a little notice. I will send some of you folks emails that when we met during the campaign trail and you were interested in participating, because if we're going to have a Baylands that really represents us, we all need to speak. We all need to stand up and be that community that we all know and love. Thank you.
Okay, Karen. Welcome.
Thanks. Emmett, thank you so much for supporting me even when I told him I was running for city council. He ignored me 3 times. He didn't say a word. He just looked away. And on the 4th time, I said, no, I'm serious. So he made me do a spreadsheet to show what I was going to do with my time and how I would manage the time of doing a job like this. And because he's a math person, not only did I do a spreadsheet, but I color-coded it for him. And he finally said, yeah, okay, I'm on board. And he became my campaign manager and did an awesome job running a very professional campaign for me. So thanks, and thanks to my core group of friends who were right there with me during this campaign. And for all the people who did vote for me, I thank you for putting your trust in me. And for those of you who didn't, I hope you will vote for me next time, because I'm going to make sure that you know that you can put your trust in me moving forward. I knew what I was heading into with the Baylands. For those of you who don't know me, I'm not shy. I don't like bullies, whoever they are, from wherever they are, and I'm not afraid of them. So when I heard that we were going to be bullied into making decisions that perhaps we didn't like, I confronted our legislators. I went and visited with some of them, and I asked them some very hard questions. So moving into this, I had some answers that I couldn't share about what they were planning, and they're pretty serious. We need to make a decision to allow some housing on the Baylands, or they're going to make us put a lot of housing on the Baylands. And I'm not happy with that idea either way, because I have been a staunch no voter on housing for the Baylands. But as Clark said, got to give a little to get a little, or we're going to lose the lot. So I did know what I was walking into with this. That being said, there are so many other wonderful things that we have going on in town. Our community is probably one of the best you could ever want to be living with, and the sustainable part of it, it's just getting better and better and better. We're a small enough community that, when some new technologies come down the pike, we can actually try them on. We can try them out, because we do have a small enough community to say, hey, let's put that 15-person driverless solar-powered shuttle running around our town 24 hours a day, taking people out to the train station or wherever they want to go. We've got a lot of great things. Our arts community is extremely strong. Our desire to work together for the betterment of everybody in town is huge. And I've been here since 1994, and I love it more today than I did then. And I don't want to go on forever. So thank you all for putting your faith in me. And for those of you who didn't, I hope you will in the future. Thank you.
Okay, we get to eat now. We're going to break for refreshments. We still have a little bit of a meeting left, and you're welcome to leave after. You want to stick around and ask questions, that's great too. So let's break for refreshments. We have refreshments out here, so